I'm waiting in the waiting room. And then the guy comes out. And he's like, "That was great, Evan. Good job." And he's like, "Anyone else?" And he looks at me. "How about you?" And I was like, "I'm not an actor. I'm just here supporting my friend." He's like, "No, no, no. You come in. You come right in." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And there's a camera right there, and it's him and then this lady.
In a big old black couch too.
In a big black couch, and he's like, "All right, get to work." And so,
And then 7 guys come in. Okay, this is bad. I'm sorry.
and then that's how I became an actor. So,
Oh no. Oh no.
so,
Okay, go
so,
on. Hey guys, I'd like to thank you again for stopping by and tuning into the podcast. At the current moment, we're kind of going to be interviewing my dear friend Eric, who is currently a voice actor. So he's going to give us some insight as to, just kind of his whole experience with the voice acting kind of career and path. And, he's also going to be giving us a little bit of advice here and there. But I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. This is going to be our very first and only guest. I'm kidding, there's more guests to come, but Eric was one of the guests that I really wanted to get first. Because, I don't know, we kind of just mesh well. I hope you guys can see that and hear that, obviously. The episode might be cut into 2 parts, mostly because we kind of aimed for about, half an hour. And then we ended up recording roughly about 2 hours and a half. So I'm just saying there might be a second part to the podcast. So, it's a treat for you guys. But with that being said, here is the podcast, and I hope you enjoy. Guys, this is my friend Eric. I'm not going to release your last name because doxing is illegal. Yeah, here's my friend Eric. He's currently a voice actor, and he's also been in the recent game that I streamed, Warrior Orb, which I need to get back to, but we won't talk about that. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Okay, podcast over. We're good. You haven't even said a thing.
Well, actually, since it's a podcast, we're not even going to hear any audience feedback. So there's no. It's more like
crickets.
Yeah, it's just like.
I'm not adding crickets in post. Well, I'm not adding crickets in post. You know damn well I was against fucking sound effects from the beginning.
It'll backfire. Oh, it'll backfire. Oh, my headphone just hit my pop filter.
That's fine. You're good.
All right.
Yeah. Fucking. So.
You like cussing a lot on your podcast?
Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it.
All of it, or just like one? I mean, I do. I'm not gonna fucking sit there and be like, "Oh, no, cussing's wrong."
Good.
My poor Christian ears. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
I can say whatever the fuck I want. Okay, go on.
I'm gonna bleep that.
Oh, damn it.
No, I'm kidding. You're good. What was like? Fuck. Okay. No. So, how are you liking the voice acting gigs at the moment?
It's honestly fun. I guess the best way I can say is doing voice acting in general is fun, no matter kind of what genre you want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I've done, I guess, like commercial.
Okay, commercials.
I guess not e-learning. What the fuck? It's and it's not promotional. I guess it's like, it's kind of promo, it's kind of not. It's like PSA. I did something for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So that was a thing. So I don't know where I can put that under. It's not a commercial, but I did that. I did Warrior Orb, and I did like another video game. I I did a podcast, and recently I found out it was deleted by somebody.
You already did a podcast without me, and it was deleted? Wow, okay.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. It was somebody who wanted to do a episodic podcast, like an audio drama, right?
An
And they
audio
wanted,
drama? What the? Okay, go on.
yeah. So it's just like, telling a story, like a telenovela, like a soap opera. That's soap opera
Mhm.
sort of thing. Like it was called Haunted VR. And it was cool. I mean, it was awesome, and it was like one of my first paid gigs, something small, but it was something that I was like, cool. I got paid for it, so I thought that was interesting. But I ran one day. I was looking at my credits, and I was like, oh, maybe I should like look something up and see if it's still up there, because I wanted clips. I wanted something to put on like a little website or something, and I checked it and I saw it was deleted, and I was like, well, okay, I'm taking that off.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Did they give you? Did they even tell you like why it was deleted?
Yeah, artistic views or something. I don't know, dude. Like
Art.
the guy or the woman, because I don't know. I don't remember the conversations. And how they identified themselves. They just deleted their profile, and anything I try to find on it, it's not there anymore.
What the hell?
Welcome to the real world of voice acting.
Where you do 100 gigs and they all get fucking deleted.
Deleted.
I mean, I guess you still got paid for them. That's all I can really say, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just like, what do you have to show to prove for it?
That's what I was just about to say. It's like, now you can't really be like, oh, hey, I've worked on, several thousand podcasts, but they're now deleted.
Exactly.
It's like, okay. It's like, we at least need you to do one podcast, and you basically told us you have 1,000 of them, but we have no proof.
Yeah.
Like,
so
we're
just pulled that out of your ass.
Exactly. Hey, I used to work for Marilyn Monroe. It's like, yeah, she's down the block from me. I can call her up right now.
Yeah, I used to drive around Elon Musk a few times, so I'm very qualified to be a bodyguard.
That does not. That doesn't even fucking align. What?
Yeah, it does. Totally.
No. You drove him around. You'd be a driver, not a bodyguard.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's hot out here, man.
No, yeah,
I'm having fever dreams.
I turned off my AC because it kind of just it buzzes around when like people hear me, or if like I have it running in the background and people, whenever I talk, it'll just be like the entire time. So I turned it off, and I am now quickly sort of regretting that decision at the moment.
It's the sacrifice for the craft.
Yeah,
Same here, because I record inside a walk-in closet, right? And it's I pat it around with like like really thick blankets and stuff.
Mhm.
You sacrifice being nice and cool for being hot and sweaty the whole time.
Dude, I know that feeling.
That's the life of a voice actor.
Oh,
That's gonna be like a running trend here.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. The joke may or may not pick up. Who knows?
It may not.
I you can be as optimistic as you'd like, Eric. I'm not gonna. Awesome. I will not take that from you.
2020. I'm pretty optimistic at this point. Moving on. All right. So what's next on your thing?
Okay. No. I just wanted to sit there and like pick at a little bit more of like the voice acting thing. But what I wanted to mostly ask about is, I mean, I've already asked how it was going for you, but have you ever gotten like or signed up for gigs that like once you got there and you got like the descriptions of them, you just didn't want them anymore because they were a little bit too far out there? Or is
It's a
that
little bit
something
too
you
what?
is like, or it was like something a little bit too far out there, and like it was just something that you couldn't or didn't want to do? Is it even something you can talk about?
Uh, I just don't want to be so rude.
I mean,
That's
you don't have to name the people or like the companies or stuff like.
y- yes and no. I mean, okay, so uh, for anyone out there that wants to do voice acting and even start off, especially online, you're gonna see a lot of projects on there, and it's really good opportunities to build your craft, build your skills. One, especially if you don't want to do classes, outside. I mean, I've trained in schools and classes that offer out here in the Bay Area. We have one. Um, but the other thing is that if you don't have access to stuff like that, building your craft online is perfectly fine. You're gonna find all these opportunities to grow and audition and all that. And through these these work, like the work, you'll be able to kind of help build yourself skill wise. Now, when it comes to projects, you're always gonna have a hit or miss. Like you'd be like, "That sounds really cool," and then when you get there, you're like, "Oh man, it's a Minecraft like soap opera. Awesome! I don't want to do it."
Okay.
um, it's a running thing too. If you go on Twitter, um, believe it or not, Twitter is really active with voice acting, and it's kind of like a running, not a gag, but it's like a running thing. Like people are like, "Oh, I don't want to sign up for Minecraft or Roblox soap opera stuff." Doesn't mean it's bad, especially if you're starting out. Do stuff like that. It helps build your chop, helps build your skills. Um, and if that's gonna do it, especially if you don't have access to training, do it. Like that's cool. I understand though to a certain degree that some people once they get to a certain point in their career or somewhat, like they might want not to do it anymore,
Hmm.
and they want to move on to something that's a little bit more original content, original animation style, or even original something else, you know? Um, so that's one thing. Have I run into it? I've run into a lot of things. You being online, you see a lot of things that you're like, "Oh, that sounds cool." Then you like look it up more, you research it more because that's the one thing is that you research the dialogue, the art or whatever is a part of that content, and then you make your decision. Do I want to audition for this or do I not? 9 times out of 10, fuck it, do it.
I thought you were gonna
um,
be like, yeah, don't take it.
just throw it away. Dumpster. But that's the price you do for, doing stuff online. And I'm not even touching base with other things yet. Like doing this online, you have a lot of sources. You have a lot of free websites. You have voiceacting.boards.net. And that is gonna help you, get auditions. Um, as well. Like they do games, they do audio, they do visual projects. There's Casting Call Club and Casting Call Club, and they have a lot of good stuff too. They gotten better with a lot of the stuff they offer, like wise and projects. You'll see a lot of original. There's some people that offer commercials. Just look into stuff with prices. When they offer you stuff, know your worth. Um, and then there's other free avenues. Twitter is super good with making connections and finding roles. Um, how I got Warrior, like the opportunity for that is through Twitter. I saw the devs on there and I messaged them, because they were asking for people to audition, and I asked and built a connection through them, and they were cool about it, and I auditioned, and they, they closed it when they had it. So I was like, cool. So stuff like that. Those are free avenues. Um, and then stuff with like if you wanna do any of the pay to play sites,
Pay to
it's gonna
play.
cost you. Pay to plays are different. So we have the free stuff,
Mm.
there's tons of stuff you can do for free. Like, uh, before you consider doing pay to play sites, do all the free stuff you can and always still build your business about it. But pay to play is something you can do, which is you pay for a membership, and they send you auditions from, businesses and stuff. Um, so there's like Voice 123. There's another one. Um, I guess the best way to kind of call them is v.com. I mean, if people look into it, they'll know what it is, but I don't want to say it. Um, just because a lot of people have gotten bad feedback recently as for their company. Um,
Mm.
I even talked to a reputable voice actor and asked him if Voice 123 is still good, if I ever wanted to get an agent in the future, and he said it was fine. He says, but look out for the other website I just mentioned, and that's not a good one to do because sometimes agents don't like you on sites that devalue your worth, like that one site, or there's another site that people can do stuff for like cheap. Um,
Okay.
yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna put names out there.
No, no,
But
it's
when I
fine.
asked about when I asked about the Voice 123, he was like, "Oh, it's all good." He's like, "That's fine. I mean, I do it too." And I was like, "All right, cool." But there are some sites you just want to stay away from. But pay to play, it's different. So you pay a decent amount of money. We're talking about starting as 399,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like stuff like that. But they give you auditions, and hopefully through the auditions, one, you'll get better at your craft too through auditions, because you'll have to really analyze these scripts and put your best foot forward if you want to, book a role, book a gig through those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so far I did two, and one, they pay for the membership. Two, they made a quote unquote profit. So that's always nice. But I've heard stories too that I'm like, oh, sometimes people don't do the best, and that's understandable. Through you go through things knowing the risk. So if you're gonna put yourself out there, just always know there's a good and a bad.
Okay. Well,
So if anyone that wants to do it, I definitely say go for it. If you ever thought about it, do it. And who knows, you're gonna have fun. That's the thing, is that this whole thing is about having fun, um, using your imagination, even in commercial, because you have to be believable. So it's just kind of like you're playing as a little kid with imaginations. I know for sure. So here's a cool story. I was just talking about it recently, um, and I forgot who asked me,
mm-hmm.
but somebody said like, "What's relatable to this?" And I said, because I mentioned you and one of our other friends, and I said,
Me? Why me?
"Yes, well, I'll bring it up."
Oh, okay.
so
I'm sorry.
I said, and this is also me with imagination too and all that. So during fourth grade, we would have recess. It'd be you, me, Ryan, Glenn,
Oh
David.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is a goodie. And at recess, we would go to the baseball field in our elementary school. And I remember Ryan's like, "Oh, let's play Final Fantasy." Imagination wise, we'll
It,
play Final Fantasy in the field. I don't know what the fuck Final Fantasy is.
it
I
wasn't
just
in.
went out.
It
Huh?
wasn't in the field though.
It was, yeah, it was. It was in the baseball track thing.
Was it
That's
on?
part of the field. Yeah, it's part of a field. It was all connected.
Okay, maybe you're. No, actually, no. You have a better memory than I do. Because I remember it vividly, most of those times being on those stupid fucking squares on the blacktop, where it was like what was it called? Like the two-touch squares, or I forget
Oh,
what the.
four corners.
Yeah, the four corners. There we go.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I mostly remember it. But no, you have a better memory than I do, to be honest.
But yeah, we would
I mean,
run on the
field.
field sometimes. We would run on the field sometimes.
No,
We do
we'd
that.
role play on the field.
Okay, they ran to the field. We walked to the field.
Yeah, we. No, it was tactically. We were tactically saving energy for our roles in this Final Fantasy roleplay.
Oh,
And
exactly. But,
yeah,
but but yeah, stuff like that. Like I didn't know what it was. I just know I saw Ryan pretending to flick a fucking sword. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Yeah, it's swords and this and that. I know what it is now. I kind of have to.
Okay.
Um, because now it's all over. Um, but stuff like that, it's playing pretend. Like, I did, um I did a game this past year, um, that dealt with stuff, you know, tactical wise, without giving too much away. That was like that too. You yell commands, but you have to pretend you're there and you're feeling the pressures of the environment and stuff like that. You yell a certain word, you feel it, and attack sounds.
Yeah. Mhm.
I did an audition recently that I can talk about. I did an audition recently, and it was like it was sword fighting because you're fighting an enemy or whatever, and it's constant like exertion sounds like and all that stuff or
Okay.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, um, and stuff like that. Like you just have to pretend and visualize stuff like that. So all about using whatever's up there, you know.
JC's the only one up there. I'm sorry. You set me up for that one.
He's the only one out there, I swear.
Oh
I still,
lord.
the only reason why I'm pausing is because I don't want to say like a what is it called? I don't want. If you're gonna cut something out, let me know because then I'm just gonna bring up old shit and then you can cut it off and then we'll restart wherever we left off.
No, honestly, like even this I'm probably not going to cut out because like for me, like at least what people have been telling me is that like that
Yeah.
genuineness and the like what you said earlier, like off the cuff, like that's what people liked about it. And like at least that's why I kind of gave us that whole like 5, I think it was like 7 minutes. But that like 7-minute window of us just like kind of just talking and relaxing, so you could just you don't have to tense up and like try to be super professional. Like obviously you would want to because you still
Yeah.
want to come off as a professional voice actor, which to me you are. You've already done some projects, and like I would say you're at the B. I mean, you've been at it for so. How many years have you been at this for now?
Not long enough. Okay. um. So that so I've been training almost 4 years, and then
Hmm.
at the schools I go to, schools now multiple because I do one school close to me, and it's it's always on and off, and I found a recent one recently, and I've been doing that this year, and because of quarantine or shelter in place or whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
um there's opportunities now to do some classes on Zoom, and that's what, my current school is doing too. But now you can go to, like you can visit, like, schools in LA, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing, like, classes by Zoom," and I was like, "Yo, yeah, come on, let's do that." And it's just to give you more well-rounded teach like, yeah, you can go to a school, like I have been for, like, almost, 4 years and learning, but sometimes you wanna see someone fresh. You wanna be taught by other people, you know?
Yeah, like just
And
sticking your arms in the mud and like just really getting in there.
exactly. So you're like you're going through the motions and you meet new people and there's so many new opportunities, to learn with other people and it's refreshing. I do that with schooling and then, recently there's been like, other Zoom opportunities. They're not lectures, but they're like, an hour Q&A with like casting directors and the voice directors and agents. Like there's like these little like 1 hour Q&As they do for Friday at lunch, and then there's one on Thursday evening, and you find these free opportunities too, and you just go and absorb. um
Hmm.
and it's cool, you just try to get the most you can. Sorry, try to
No,
get
you're
the
good.
most you can, and what's it called, especially someone on a budget, for the cheapest amount. That's fine. I mean, there's a school in LA that's offering like 20% off each class, and that's something, you know? So, Just gotta look around. But because of this shelter in place, there's a lot of places offering Zoom classes that are in like New York, Chicago,
Well,
LA.
mhm.
Go on.
No, I was about to say, like, it makes sense because, like, I mean, I'm I'm not gonna try to make it sound like it's gonna sound a little greedy, but like I'm not. That's not my intention. But like, those schools still need funding. They still need students, so they need people to sign up for all of that. I mean, with the exception of the people that will teach you for free, but it's obviously it's not going to be the same as a paid course. So
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
so I mean, it's a smart play on their part because they're saying, hey, this class is usually in New York and you would usually need to be here physically, but we have it on Zoom. Here's it's a just it's a $200 entry fee. I'm not obviously that's not the right price, but I'm just saying it's like it's a $200 class. We get a Zoom class once or twice every week for like the next 6 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's smart on their part.
Yeah, exactly. And then you as a person who's interested in wanting to know more about it, you get the opportunities. So that's cool.
I mean, I've been interested in it to an extent,
I
but
still think you should do it.
you know how many fucking people tell me that I'd say at least once a day I get that.
Yeah.
At least.
I still think you should do it, but the main reason I'm telling you it and not what you might be hearing is, and it's not because of your voice.
Okay, what is it for?
Well, it's just, the way you are, your personality. It's you because I know you as a person. I know you personally,
Mhm.
and the way you are and how you're animated, you're a cool dude, right?
What, you're telling me you're not a paid actor? I didn't pay you to say all this nice shit. What?
You mean to tell me I'm not a piece of shit that everyone's been saying you to
Yeah.
Mishy?
See, this is
I
one of those.
butchered that name.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're gonna have to. Also, you can call me by my real name, by the way. It's just information that I still put out there. Obviously, not my last name, but you can call me Xavier or anything.
Okay. They know your real name.
Yeah,
Your real name.
they know
Butt munch.
Oh Lord, not that. No.
Kidding.
We're not going that far.
Um,
I've suffered many names. A lot of them
yes.
not good ones.
What was he say? But yeah, like you as a person, and that's the thing is that, and they'll
Okay.
tell you that at schools. My first experience at a voice acting school,
Mm-hmm.
or one of my first experiences at a voice acting school, they'll straight up tell you. It's like whoever is here because they told you you have a nice voice, get that out of your head. Straight up. They'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have a nice voice. That's fine. That's cool. It's a shoo-in for some stuff. But remember, Rob Paulson, who does the voice for Yakko, and Carl Weezer and all that stuff, he says voice acting is little V, big A. So voice, not as, you know, not as out there.
Mm-hmm.
A, acting, because we are behind a mic. There's no cameras at us. We can't show expressions through our faces to a
Yeah.
camera. We're doing it through a mic. So your acting has to be on point. You have to know when to hit certain emotion cues, when to say, when to, not enunciate, when to show emphasis on certain things and doing these
Mhm.
sounds that are convincing and all that. So in some points, yeah, people have great voices, you know, and that's not to dog you, you have a great voice, you know. But you're gonna walk into a class, let's say you do walk into a class, and then there's gonna be someone there like, "Alright, whoever told you that, I
Mhm.
put that in the back burner. We're focusing on acting. Get
Okay.
to acting, bitch."
Oh God. Okay.
Chop, chop. Uh, but I think you do well. Straight up. Um, uh, acting is well, I know you could do acting. You could.
I would. I mean, I'm not sitting here and like trying to. I don't want to like stroke my own ego and something or something like that. But like, I know I could. It's just there. Personally for me, there are times when there are things that I can't really do. Like, obviously, I would have to practice them over and over again. And I'm not talking about like, roles or like accents. I'm like talking about like just like breaking through that shyness and like kind of getting out of that like somewhat social anxiety. Because okay, you can vouch for me. Sometimes I can be a very outgoing person. Other times I can basically be fucking awkward turtle. Yes or no?
He's lying.
Yes or no?
What?
Validate my argument there. Yes or no? Or not
How
validate,
much
but
were
I'm
you paying
just
me again?
lols. Okay.
No, yeah, you're right. No, you're on it. You're true. You're right.
And someone I won't get into that one. But like
Okay.
that's my or I mean yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it. That's a completely different subject, but that's one of my strengths and one of my weaknesses. Like the way someone put it to me at one point, like you know, Xavier, you're not the best. Like, let's just say in baseball terms, you're not the best fucking baseball player out there, but you still make an effort to get up and bat. And like for me, when that person said that, like that was really motivating. But at the same time, it's just kind of like I have to acknowledge that at the same time. I can't. So there are days that I can do it, and there are days that I can't. So that's normally why I just don't really stay in that realm. I'd rather
That's
just make
understandable.
it. I'd rather just make it more about like for example, the stream and like the podcast and stuff like that. I'd rather just do it right here and now, versus like in more of a professional setting. Because yeah, maybe I could do it, but there are always going to be those moments when I can't. And
Yeah, but everyone has those moments though.
oh, okay, yeah, that's true though.
That's just being honest. There are days like straight up, I'll have some auditions come through,
Mhm.
and I just look at them and I'll be like, "Yo, today ain't it.
Today ain't it?
It ain't it." Like the way my ritual go. Nah, it's not happening. There's just days that you'll hit these like scripts and then you'll be reading them. You're just like, bro, it is not flowing the way it's flowing. It's not working out. But I mean, it's all small steps. Hey, super random. Did you? Oh, I guess you haven't told them since we haven't dug into this. But do you remember one day you told me that someone came up to you and gave you like a card?
Hmm.
Do you know what exactly they were? Like who they were?
I don't remember. Fuck. I'd have to look for the card. I don't think I might still have it in my wallet, which I'm checking right now, but I would have to take a look at it. What the hell?
I would laugh if it was an agent. I'd be like, bro, you should have just done it.
No, I don't think they were an agent, but they were like they specifically told me they were scout. They weren't. I mean, they were a scout, but they weren't like obviously actively scouting in the restaurant. They were just kind of like, here, like they essentially just told me like, you have some potential. Give me a
You got
call.
moxie, kid.
It's pretty much. But
You
like
got
that
moxie, kid. You
that's
got it.
that's what they were basically insinuating that like, like I see some potential in you. Here's my card. And it was just like some random person. And I was just kind of like, for me, it felt a little awkward because like
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, I don't know you. I need an adult. Holy shit! I have like 6 $2 bills in my wallet for whatever reason.
Woo! I just made you richer.
Right? But
That would have been funny though, because there are. Okay, so I was listening to a podcast
mhm.
about an agent, and he said the same. He said this. There's those rare cases where he finds somebody with talent that hasn't taken a class,
Mhm.
and they book gigs because they have natural instincts sometimes. There are some people that have natural instincts and they'll book gigs and they'll just sign them straight up. But that's not to say that's everybody. So I'm
Yeah, yeah.
just putting that out there too. But you never know. Stuff happens in life.
The message is still the same. You're saying that I should have I should have just like, said something, or like at least gave a call, made an inquiry, and been like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, shut up, dude, shut the fuck up."
This
But
is the
this is,
best game of chess I ever played.
oh god, but this is what I was saying. Fuck you and your chess, dude. Every
Go on.
fucking time. No, 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 no. I still will not live that down. Every single time. Oh, hey, do you want to play chess? No, fuck you, dude.
I could beat you in 4 moves.
Every single time we'd go to that stupid fucking Thursday market, hey, do you want to play chess? Like, no, you're a dickhole because you know really dirty fucking early game strategies. No, I don't want to play chess with you. But I still do it anyway.
I remember I played that kid. I played a kid that was okay. Well, he wasn't a kid. He was a very beefy adult. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, yeah, it was just a kid. It was a kid, and I was like helping him play, and because we had those clocks. And I just remembered like, oh yeah, it's a quick game. He's like, all right, cool. I'm still learning. And I was like, yeah, no worries. I'll go easy on you.
Yeah, I'll go easy on you is the biggest fucking lie that you've ever said. Even in fucking Melee. Yeah, and that's what you say afterwards. It builds character. Don't worry, Xavier. It builds character.
You'll learn. You get what was that thing? Because I always say just play against better players, because then you'll start to adapt to better players, and you're just like, okay, and then you would play against better players, and you're just like, I didn't get a chance to breathe.
Legit fucking.
How can they get better if I can't
Melee? Oh man.
Yeah, but from what was the meat of potatoes that this conversation was, I think you should at least try. I think you would have an awesome time doing it. You never know. You could find your niche. I think if you can set your mind to it, you can do it, buddy.
You know, we're 48 minutes into the podcast, and I just noticed that I might have to censor my photo because there's a fucking Mario hat on my head. And I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna throw a fucking fit about it.
Kappa gang! Well, it's not really Kappa. It's, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not Kappa.
I don't even know if we got into any bits and pieces here in my section. I don't know.
What, the whole voice acting stuff, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I feel like we just didn't even dug deep.
Oh no,
we just talked about auditions and stuff.
To be honest, like the bulk of what I was gonna ask you, you've already answered. You answered like the second time around when I wanted you to get a little bit more in depth into the whole voice acting thing. You gave a lot of feedback. You spoke for like a full fucking 10 minutes, and like that was, for me, that was like good, but like at the same time I'm just kind of like, fuck, now I don't have any questions. Guys, I don't know what to ask.
Here's a good thing. Here I'll actually fill something up with this. This is actually a really good tidbit, I guess. Anyone that wants to do anything they want to do it. Straight up, no matter if anyone doubts you. Because 1, you're going to have regrets. And 2, it's your life. But here's the main reason. So
it's your life.
Here's your life. Wait,
okay.
Here's the main reason. Because so I started acting at the age of 13. We have a friend named Evan, and Evan used to be an actor too. He was in and he so it's gonna get really into my life. Okay, so
come on, guys, it's the World Series.
It's the world, yeah, dude. It's the World Series.
It's a something World Series, but that was Evan that said it, right?
It's the preteen World Series.
The preteen World Series, guys.
My mom used to take care of my friend Evan, and one day they were in the mall, and then there was a casting dude there, well, a scout. He was like, "Oh, you'll be great for like modeling and and like film and stuff, and he wanted to do it, but my mom can't sign the papers for him. So he asked his mom, and they were doing it. He went into modeling and acting and all that, and he did acting class. Fast forward, he started doing little independent films. I know I keep talking about him. How is it gonna relate to me? I get that in a second. So he go one day. Sorry.
No, I was like, no, it's fine. Trust me. Go on.
All right, so one day he calls me over and he's like, I have an audition in the city. And I was like, awesome, let's go. And it was like in downtown San Francisco. He gets an audition. I'm waiting in the waiting room. And then the guy comes out and he's like, that was great, Evan, good job. And he's like, anyone else? And he looks at me, how about you? And I was like, I'm not an actor. I'm just here supporting my friend. He's like, no, you come in. You come right in. And I was like, oh, okay. And there's a camera right there. And it's him and then this lady.
In a big old black couch, too.
In a big black couch. And he's like, all right, get to work. And
then 7 guys come in. Okay, this is bad. I'm sorry.
And then that's how I became an actor. So.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, go on.
So I was like, hi, and they're like, all right, so this is what you need to do, because I'm just there, like I was with Evan, so I was like, I don't have anything. So they're like, all right, so just look into the camera, say your name, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then I did it, and they're like, that was great, you can go now. And I was like, cool. 2 weeks go by. And then my friend Evan calls me. He's like, hey, do you want to come over this weekend? And I was like, sure, I can go for a sleepover. That sounds cool. He's like, all right, well, it's not just that, but we both got roles. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. And then hindsight or flashback, I'm like, well, you know what? It works out for them. They got 2 for the price of 1.
Okay.
Because they know if he goes, I'll go. And I won't be able to avoid him. I was like, all right, cool. I told my mom about this. And, she was like, that's great. You go have fun. I was like, cool. After this whole independent film was over, because it took like a year or so to finish it, I remember I told my mom, I was like, yo, that was really fun. I kind of want to get into it. And she just, super kind, was just like, no, me. Like, I'm not trying to put my mom in that voice because she doesn't talk like that. She basically just told me, like, there's no future in that.
I was just about to say, if you said it in Spanish, that was almost dead on. Like, I would have, if you had the ability to make your voice more feminine, that would have been dead on. Even just by the way that you, the emotion that you put behind the no mijo.
Yeah, because I was going to go in that route, but it wasn't going to be her voice. It was just going to be like, it's going to be like Consuela. Like, it could be like, no, mijo, no hay future.
Yeah. But, okay, go on.
So, I put it in the back burner. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I guess I'm not doing that. I really want to somehow and whatever. So then high school comes around. Don't worry, I'll glaze over your incident. I'm kidding. So high school rolls around, and our friend is a filmmaker. He was doing stuff, recording videos and all that, and he wanted to do like a web series, and he asked me and several friends, and I said, yo, yeah, I'm down, because that's acting. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. When there's free opportunities to build yourself and whatever, do it. You never know what you're going to do, but it's something to practice. And I did that, and we did like a season and one other episode for another season, because then it was done. But it's just something else. You're just like, oh, that was fun. Like, and I had fun acting. And in my head, I'm like, that was fun. I love recording. I love filming. I love being around with people and whatever. That was cool. Then that was in high school, and I guess I'm gonna age myself. So that was like 2009. And or 2010ish, whatever. And then go forward a bit. Now I'm in college, and I remember I took an acting class, because I remember one day I was looking at it and I was like, yo, there's an acting class. I'm gonna do it. I always wanted to take an acting class. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. What can go wrong. A lot went wrong. I'm kidding. So
Okay.
I did it. And I remember there was a girl in my class, and she was saying, "Oh, guys are doing extra work for 13 Reasons Why for Netflix." And I was like, "Yo, I'm there. Let's do it." And I did that, and that was a whole other thing too. I was there from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hmm.
But that's another cool thing, is that you get to now also go into this acting like little universe for Netflix and all that, and that was cool. I did like monologues for my class. I even had to do an audition. So here's one of the things that I realized, like kind of like a little, I guess like a hint that I could have do voice acting or whatever, is that I had to do an audition for a play that I didn't want to do a play, but I had to do it for extra credit. So I did it. I went into the room. No, I went into the hall, and I saw people reading a piece of paper, and I said, "Yo, what's that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a monologue that we have to read and to memorize and read in front of the directors." And I said, "I wasn't told about this." And they're like, "Oh, well, it's right over there, and you have like 3 minutes to read it." And I was like, "Oh my god, okay."
Okay.
So I went into the room, and because they called me in, and they're like, "All right," and I said, "Hey, I just learned about this monologue, so I'm just gonna read it and react to it at the same time." And they're like, "All right, cool. You can do that." So I read it. I would read like a line ahead and just recite it and look at it and react to it. And I remember them telling me that I did really well. They would have liked to see it memorized, but they said I did really well for someone that was only reading it and reacting to it at the same time.
Hmm.
A month later, I get an assignment from my teacher, and it's for another extra credit. And she says, "Go to a seminar of anything you want to do related to acting. Come back, give me a ticket of that you went and whatever." And I said, "Cool." And in my head, I was like, I always wanted to know about voice acting. I don't know why I never looked at it before, because every time I looked it up, I got nothing. But for some reason, the day I did it for this assignment, everything pops up, and I was like, "Okay, cool." And I see the school. I It was well timed. I was literally within a week or two time span of going to the intro class. That's a weird coincidence, you know?
Hmm. I
Especially
remember
because a
that
lot of
week
these.
too.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I go in, and I remember doing the lecture and whatever, and getting behind the mic and doing like, exercises. And then you leave, and then you're just kind of like, "Yo, I want to do this." Like straight up. Like you'll come out of an intro class and you're like, "Yo, I want to do this." I feel like that would happen to you too if you went to an intro class. You'd be like, "Yo, fuck this."
Yo, fuck this. That I'm gonna just
Fuck
come out
this.
fucking pissing my pants and shit.
I don't want to read in front of the class. You get nervous. I get so nervous in class because you have to read in front of people. Not in front of people, but you go behind the mic, and
Hmm.
your voice is going to be heard through the speakers by your class. You're not going to see them react because you'll still be in the booth usually.
Yeah.
But knowing that your voice is going to be projected on a speaker,
Hmm.
you're just kind of like, you're you're like, stuff kind of goes back in your body, and you're just kind of like, "Yo, can we not?" But
Hmm.
after I did that class, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," and then, kept going at it. I was old enough at the time that I had my own money. So, I mean, my parents really couldn't say anything because I had my own money and I can spend it on my own stuff and whatever. Still, at this point in time, my parents also say, "Are you going to school still? Are you going to college? Da 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 da." And I didn't know what I want to do in my life. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was going to school, but honestly, I felt like I was just kind of like playing with a string of rope or something, not
Oh.
really doing anything with it. And I didn't know what I want to do, and I kept wasting time until
Hmm.
something hit me. Um, until that hit me, and then I was like, "All right, I know what I want to do. Fuck everything else."
Fuck
um,
everything.
but I mean, but then you always have those thoughts, you know, like, well, what if I don't succeed? You know, like,
Mhm.
what if I don't make it or whatever? But I mean, success has so many variety. Like, some people could be doing free projects for the rest of their life and they're successful, you know? They have their own meaning of success, you know, and your meaning and somebody else's meaning isn't always the same meaning. So if you're someone that has a thrill, you're working at your regular job, but on the side you're voicing like these comic dubs or free games and all that or whatever, and that makes you happy and that makes you successful, you're successful. Some people have different meanings. In my case, I don't know what that's gonna be. It could be one or the other for my meaning of successful, whatever. And whenever that
Mhm.
comes, it comes. And I'll know when it comes, but I don't know when it is. So we'll see where the ball rolls.
Yeah. Honest.
um,
Go on. Go on.
no, go on.
I was about to say, like, I'm happy that like I could get, obviously I could get you to like talk about this like at a really early stage in what I honestly I just feel like it's going to be your career. It's gonna be a really early stage. Later on, I'm gonna fucking bug you about it, and you're gonna be like, "Nah, I'm too busy. I'm voicing fucking, I'm voicing Zazu on the fucking 7th remake of The Lion King."
Right.
Yeah. So, you,
voicing Ladybug number 3 in Bug's Life
oh
10.
god.
Darling, I'm gonna make you a star.
Oh my god. Okay, but yeah, no.
I'm waiting for that
Regardless,
one casting agent. Sorry, go on.
I was like, I actually I completely forgot where I was going with this. I mean, I'm just
You
overall, I'm
you
just
got
happy
me
that
early. Sorry.
yeah, that I'm happy that I got you early on to like kind of like nitpick your opinions on this, because I mean later on they'll change, but I feel like they're roughly going to be about the same for the most part.
Yeah, you as a person, I don't know, it really depends. The cool thing, um, and what I've been kinda seeing is and what I kinda like is that and what I've been noticing is that in this sort of career, if you I know they're high profile voice actors, that's fine, but there's a lot of people too that are not as I mean, I can't just say not as well known. A lot of people will end up, knowing you.
Mm,
Um, they do say people like some voice actors can still go into stores and not be bothered. And it's not like you don't want to be bothered or whatever, but it's just like you can still lead a normal life, you
yeah,
know? And
versus
that's
like
cool.
other people that can't.
Exactly. I understand though if you're like a really high profile actor, voice actor or whatever, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's him! He voiced Tarantula number 35," and then it's cool. But there are some people that lead very regular lives, and that's cool. I hope the way or what I hope the way my career is that I
Mhm.
have a balance and that'd be awesome. I still want to be the way I am, like I like me, I like being regular. Will I work my regular 9 to 5? Who knows? I really don't. If I get really busy and I have to drop it, that's fine. But I like working my job. That's why I've been working at my job for like ever. Um, but and also another thing too is it's people watching. I get to
Mhm.
like I get to study people and like and mannerisms and you pick up people and how they talk and how they act and you just pick stuff up and it's like in your little Rolodex of stuff, you know?
Mhm.
Like stuff sticks. Like I know for sure like I pocketed like some stuff from old managers or old coworkers and I keep them in my back pocket if like there's something I want to do or whatever, but the point of it all is that as a person, it'd be cool to have that balance and still be I'm not gonna say a regular person. I'm trying to say like somewhere in the middle where you're just kind of like you have fun doing what you love, and you see your version of success,
Mhm.
however they may be, and whatever, but you still get to be out and be cool. Like
Yeah, no, thank you guys for joining or tuning into the podcast. This might be a two-parter, to be honest, but regardless, as I thank you, Eric, for joining me and giving us some insight on the life of a voice actor at the moment. And I wish you all of the best. But as always, what's up?
if you want him to bring me back, let him know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the end of the podcast. All right, later, guys. I hate you all.
If anyone wants to reach me, you can follow me at Twitter at ErickNitaVO, and that's at ErickNitaVO, and that'll be on Twitter and Instagram. So if anyone wants to reach me, you can follow me on there and feel free to conversate.